Hello, and as always, thank you guys for tuning in to the adventures of D-Webb Enterprises LLC. Today is Tuesday, September 6th, 2021, and on today's video, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm here working at a house, so basically it's a rental unit, and I'm painting the whole thing from the basement to the upstairs. Now, I wanted to actually do a before and after video, but for some reason I didn't think about it quick enough, so we're kind of currently working on the job. So right now, we have not started the outside. We're gonna have to paint this porch. So I just wanted you guys, this will be a before that you get to see. So this is how the whole porch is. It's all messed up. You can see we're gonna paint the whole way down the steps. I don't know how well you can see it from this angle, but from the bottom you can tell. So you can see all the pink and the grayish blue that peeks through and some of the actual cement. And you can see we're gonna have to probably put a little plaster in there to fill up some of those cracks. So long story short, there's really bad echoing inside, so I'm just gonna talk out here for a second. I just wanna tell you guys, again, I'm not the homeowner. I just got a job to do a painting job on the basement and the upstairs. Me and my buddy are coming in and doing work. So I'm just doing these videos to show you guys what we're capable of, and basically anybody who's looking for work, please feel free to branch out. Again, this was D-Webb Enterprises LLC is my company name, and we're more than willing to take on any jobs. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be painting, that's just what we're doing right now. So long story short, the garage has not been started yet. Sorry, I forgot it. The echo is real bad in there, so I'm going to try and talk again before we go in. But basically, we're painting the floors. We didn't start yet on the floors. We just started the walls that are a little bit white back there. And then as we get closer, we'll zoom in and show you guys the color of what the current walls are. So we're just basically going to make it look brand new. We're going to have the cement book on the ground, and we're going to have it all eggshell white on the walls. So come on in. Again, sorry if there's any echoing. I'm still going to try and talk with you guys, but I know the sound might be a little funny in here. But long story short, we're doing a little patchwork on the holes in the corner. You can see the hole in this corner, basically how those ones look. They were actually even a little bit worse than that one. And then we're painting all the walls. As you can tell, we're not finished. This was the color of what this wall was. We're painting it eggshell white. Like, certain spots need a second coat, of course. So we're going to do the second coat today and finish the last bit. And then the back wall was this kind of different green color, so we're just going to coat that the eggshell white. Now, again, this is a rental unit, so that's why the landlord, he just wants it eggshell white throughout the whole house, and he just wanted the ground to be a thunderclap, so we'll show you guys that color. Sorry, I'm sorry, I was just giggling a little bit, because it's a little bit of a different color. We were just trying to find something unique. So this is actually what the thunderclap will look like on the bathroom. I apologize for this footprint, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a funny story. So we're sitting here doing work yesterday, and the house next door is also getting worked on. When we go back upstairs and out the front door, I'll show you guys, we'll look over at their front yard and I'll explain it. But basically they're doing work over there, and the guy wanted to come over and ask us to help him do work, and he wanted to just look at what we did. And he comes and walks right through our wet paint and kind of like messed it up, so we got to touch it out. But here's an example of what that dude did. So this is the thunderclap that I'm trying to show you guys around here. So let me come in. Sorry, our work stuff's a mess. So, sorry. It's a little echoey in there, so I wanted to come back out. But he has a whole entire footprint right here that we're going to have to retouch up. You can tell this is the thunderclap color I'm talking about. And then the actual walls are the eggshell white. So basically, the bathroom's almost done. We just are going to do a second coat on some of the cornerings and just make sure that the white's not see-through, because this was a weird kind of off yellow color. So now come on in here. Again, as you can tell, we painted all the walls in here. Painted this one, painted the back wall, we painted that wall, and we painted over here. Now we fixed up the sink a little bit. We didn't do any actual, it worked completely fine. It was just really nasty, so we had to take a little time to clean it out and just make it look a little better. But this wall back here, the whole lower half used to be a weird brown color, and the top half was white. So, but a dirty white, like you could tell it hadn't been painted in a while. So we made sure to repaint this. Now we're gonna touch up a little bit. I know you might see a little gray splatter, but we're just gonna clean that up. And then we're gonna, the next step is in here. So this little closet area, basically we painted all the walls, we painted the ceiling, we also painted the closet in here. So other than that, there wasn't too much work. Of course, it was a rental unit, so there was nails here and there in the walls. So of course, we just took the nails out and put a little plaster in so there's no holes. And that was simple fixes. Painted every single wall in this room. We did not touch this little inside. I don't want to miss the word. It's basically an oven. Some people do use this to cook. It's not actually a fire pit, like a lot of people think. And then, long story short, we painted all the walls in here. We're still touching up. That's the last thing we still have to do. I wanted to get a little closer. I don't know how the echoing is. I apologize, guys. But again, we did all the paint in here. The only thing we have to still do is touching up. So please don't get nitpicky in the comments if you see a little mess up. We're not fully finished. We just had to let the main coat dry before we go back around. Now, as you can see, I took all of these off. So we're just going to replace some of these. The landlord, again, it's a rental unit, so he doesn't want all brand new ones. He wants us to just reuse what we can, and that's understandable. A couple of them might need replaced, but for the main part, we're just going to reuse what was here. And then down here in the corner, it's a little hard to tell. We still need to add a little extra putty just to finish it up and make it look even. But basically, long story short, this whole inside was, or this whole corner was all split up all the way up to here, and it just looked nasty. We had to clean all that up. And then, as you can see, we painted the floors. We still got a little touching up to do. Again, please don't nitpick. And then this goes back to that guy walking around. I'm sorry to keep calling him out, but I don't know what he was doing. He like stepped down here and stepped back up on the steps. So again, we're going to go back over this before we call it finished. We know this isn't done yet, but we're going to repaint those steps to make sure it's a nice clean white. All of these walls were a weird orange, so I don't know how else to explain it, but we coated this with the eggshell white. And then you guys can walk on up. You might do one more little loop around just to give you guys a visual. So we painted all the walls in here. I'll show you coming up. And then if you close this door, this is some of the work we still need to do. So we have not done this corner yet. You can tell where our paint starts and where we didn't do. And then, so again, this is where I'm going to show you more of the work that we're about to do because we haven't finished the upstairs. We're just currently starting. So this wall here used to be a bright red. I'm trying to find, I don't know if you can zoom in and see any of this. But long story short, I just wanted to give him the best chance to see some of it. We already double coated this. We're still going to do a third coat to make sure because, again, it's a rental unit, but you don't want renters coming in and then seeing that. It just doesn't look good. So you can see over here on this wall at the top, that color was like more of a cream. So we double coated this wall already. Like this is a small area, so it's not a big deal. But the harder thing is that red, getting that not to bleed through. Now if you look in the kitchen, obviously all the appliances we just moved out so that we can get behind them. All of these walls, all of the bottom walls here were that bright red also. Now, my buddy took, here's a good chance to see. That's the color it was. So my buddy took care of these walls. He triple, maybe even quadruple painted it already. I wasn't like watching him like a hawk. Obviously, we worked good together. I didn't need to act like I didn't trust him. So he did that. It looks excellent. He's gonna do one more coat, he said, just to make sure it's all perfect. Now up here, it was, I want to say an orange color, and then this actually was a normal wood look. So we could have left the wood look and then just painted this white, but we thought it looked cleaner all the way steady one color. Now again, we're not finished. We did not do the ceilings yet at all. So if you see in the corners, there's still a little like blotchiness, but don't leave in the comments like we don't know what we're doing because we're not finished. We're still working on it. So I appreciate anybody who does comment though with any advice. Please, we're not experts. This is new to what I'm doing. I'm just trying to pick up side jobs. So anybody who is looking for work in the Pittsburgh area, please feel free to branch out. Again, it's D-Webb Enterprises LLC. And you can look up my website and branch out and get my phone number for any questions, or if you just need me to bid on a job. So again, I appreciate anybody's time. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. That's also one of the hardest things, is to get people actually interested in watching your videos. And I'm not the best at editing, so this is my first video where I actually have somebody filming for me, which is really cool, so I don't have to do everything and just stand in one spot. It's kind of more entertaining to have the background change. But long story short is, if I stutter or mess up on my words, I just have to fix it real quick and get back to the point. So please don't stress out on me just messing up on one little comment. So long story short, still gotta do the ceiling. We painted this wall, that wall. We already painted all the walls in here. Let me try and give you guys the best lighting possible. I don't know, it's a little dark out. We're here, it's only 6 a.m. Let me double check the time. It is only 6:54 right now. So it's still super early, so that's why the lighting's not that great. Come on out. I want to show them the yard next door that we were talking about. So that's the yard next door that they're doing work on. And they were already offering us a job, not that it matters, but that's the guy that's working that came to walk through our basement. So I don't know, he's a cool guy, he's really polite, but I don't know what he was thinking or doing. I don't know if you can see also from the upward angle, but we're gonna paint this. We're going to repaint all the steps, as I said at the beginning. Just clean it all up out here for a rental unit. Just make it move-in ready. That's what we want to do. So coming back in, again, it's not finished, so you can tell this was the color that it originally was, almost like a cream white. So we're going to the eggshell white the landlord picked. Now everyone does it differently. We used a primer mix. So I'm not an expert, again, I'm new to this, so maybe leave in the comments if you are a painter what you use or what I should do maybe to make it better. But we just did a primer mix with paint. So that's what we decided to do. And again, that to also be cost effective. I know the best alternative would be to do a full coat of primer and then a couple coats of paint. But again, the landlord wants to be cost effective and look good. That's what he's worried about. So this room right here is pretty much the only room besides the bathroom that we did not touch yet. Sorry, there's a little echo in there. So I wanted to come out while he's filming. But long story short is this is the only room untouched. This is how most of the rooms did look. It had this kind of weird color. I don't even want to say weird color, and it's fine. It's just not a color I would pick for the bedrooms. And we're going to paint every wall in here the eggshell white. And we're going to get the ceiling. Now in the hallway you can tell we already did this. This is the color that we're going to make for the whole entire house. Now this is a good example. You can see on here where the red bled through. So that was like the color of this whole entire wall, obviously, is like the color he just zoomed in on. And that's the same color that other wall. So I'm just going to come back to show you guys, because we're not in a rush. Might as well enjoy some time with them. So over here, that whole wall was bright red, and then straight behind you, this whole wall was bright red. It wasn't a horrible look, but it was definitely different. Again, and we're painting with white, so red bleeds through white. We had to do multiple coats just to make sure it wasn't visible. So that room we already showed you guys. This is the little hallway. We already did most of it. We're just going to do a couple second coats on where you can't really, or a third coat on where you can't really see the bleeding through. I'm sorry, I said can't, but where you can see the bleeding through. We're going to do a third coat on. Now this bathroom is untouched, so I want you guys to see how nasty this ceiling is. I don't mean to sound rude, I mean it's completely fine. A painted coat and some scraping of that mold will be fine. Not mold, the mildew will definitely be fine though. So I definitely don't want anybody to think that that's some $1,000 remodeling job. It's really not. You just need to fix it up. And again, it's a rental unit, so that's up to the landlord on the tub and the sink replacement. It's all usable. That's the main thing. That's what he wanted, usable and livable. And we're going to paint all of this that eggshell white. Now, if you come into this room's probably the furthest along out of the 3 bedrooms. So we just need to do some of the cornering. Some of this cornering we still need to do. And then we're obviously obviously going to do like a third coat on some of the bleeding through here. You can just see some of the spots that just need touched up, and this is what we're going to do in all the bedrooms. That one that you saw that was completely white, or completely yellow, I apologize. You can tell this room was the same color. I don't know, it was just the color I guess the dude went with. But we're coating this. We didn't do the ceiling yet. We did all the walls so far. We did the door. Let me just find a way to show you guys. You got a little better lighting, but you can tell the door needs another coat, but the door was not done. Then if you come in here, basically we're just taking this down to paint, and then we're gonna put this back up. It's just a little shelf. I'll actually, for the heck of it, I'm gonna grab the shelf and show you. So we just put it up here. We're gonna recoat it too. We just wanted it up and out of the way. But we're just gonna coat that to eggshell white also. Just put it back in here. Watch your step. So coming back in here, we obviously just blotched each wall just to see how it was gonna turn out over the color. So this was just a single layer, and you can tell it really doesn't bleed through too bad. So we're probably gonna just have to do 2 coats in here. But as you can see, it's that primary, that yellow color again. So we're just gonna clean it up, get the ceiling done, just get the door done, make sure it all looks good. And that's pretty much all we have to do up here. So I'm trying to think, make sure to show you guys everything. We did the hallway. Some of the things we still have to do, so you can tell, like in here, we're gonna clean up that gap. We don't want to leave a giant air gap in there. And then, long story short, I just want to show you guys in here also. So there were certain things we had to do, like they were hanging stuff, so we had to like tear that stuff down and replace it. Sorry, I was taking the camera away from my buddy. Long story, yeah, we had to clean that stuff up. So at times we had to pull nails out and staples out of the wall and just plaster it. It was very simple stuff, but just things we had to do. And one thing also I forgot to mention we're still doing, you can tell the steps at one point were carpeted, and there's these staples. Like, here's a couple up here. You can see there's still some carpet. I don't know, there's staples all over here that we just had to like rip out of the steps. So here, I'll show you guys a good example. So like these things, I don't know, you just gotta grab pliers and rip it out. It's not the end of the world, but it's just something you gotta do. They're all over the steps. So I'm gonna pretty much end on that. I'm gonna go outside and give you guys my last little minute spiel. And then we're gonna wrap up for today. I think the sound's the best outside, so that's why I'd rather it just be out here. But we'll get the house in the background. So again, today was Tuesday, September 6, 2021. I'm sorry, it was Monday, September 6, 2021. And on today's video, I just walked you guys through the house and showed you what it looked like. Well, most of it was done already. So I'm showing you guys what we had done and what some of the house looked like prior to getting done. So again, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. This is the Adventures of D-Webb Enterprises LLC. Thank you guys and have a great day. Appreciate it.